it seems like it's so much pressure because you are the only person on the course and you're the only one playing for yourself. What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the OT and OT podcast, the show where we go overtime on all things sports and off topic on everything else. Let's get into it. Welcome back to another episode of the OT and OT podcast. I am so excited for today's episode, and I cannot wait to begin because this is a topic that I will love talking about from here on out. I'm so glad that I'm bringing you this episode. Today's episode is going to be on the sport of golf, and some maybe hot takes, maybe not some hot takes. Just we're going to talk about the game, the mental side of golf, the physical aspect of golf, and maybe some differences between playing and actually watching the game being played. There's a lot of pressure that comes with golf, and I think it seems like it's so much pressure because you are the only person on the course and you're the only one playing for yourself. Nobody else is playing for you. You're playing for you, and that's it. So there could be a lot of pressure put on you just because of that. And you have to deal with the mental side of things when it comes to the game of golf because there are so many things you have to think about all at once. So without further ado, let's get into it. I had ideas for, all these different episodes to do. And just like anybody that has a question about something, I asked ChatGPT. So I asked, basically for every episode, I asked, give me one line that helps you or would help me associate what the episode is going to be about. Just give me a tagline, basically. And for this one, it said, no clock, no teammates, just pressure. And that is so true because you don't have a time constraint. You don't have a teammate to deal with. I mean, unless you're playing a team scramble, but even still, you're hitting your own shot. You're not relying on somebody else to hit your shot. And there's pressure every time you step up to the ball and you are going to hit. That's just the way that the game that's just the way that golf is put together. And it's a beautiful thing. Golf has so much hype behind it right now, and it's only gotten bigger in the last 4 to 5 years. It is crazy how much this game has grown since I have been playing. And to give you a little background, I started playing around 2020. So I've been playing for about 5.5 years now. I started playing in the summer of 2020. And the only reason I got into it was because a former boss that I had, we were doing a home renovation for someone, and we were in his basement doing a few things, and I noticed in the basement he had a set of old irons in one of the closets, and I was like, I asked the owner of the home, I said, are you doing anything with these, or what do you want to do with them? He's like, if you want them, you can take them. So I said, heck yeah, of course I want these. I always kind of had an inclination to play golf in like high school and things, but I never had clubs and I didn't have anybody to go with because we live 30 minutes outside of town and there's no golf courses close. So I wanted to get into it, but I didn't have anybody to play with, essentially, is how it went. I played one time in high school and I thought it was so fun. Obviously, I was terrible at it, but I didn't even remember that because it was just so much fun. And since then, I've always wanted to get back into it. And then when I got these irons, it was legit a full set of irons, 3-iron, clear to pitching wedge. And I was sad because I didn't have a sand wedge because that's just my my OCD. I wanted it to be a full set, but then, obviously with getting irons, you have to have all the other clubs. So then I really got into it and I found a bunch of garage sales. I went to the DI. I went to a few different places to try to put together a full set of clubs. And I also brought along my brother and one of my friends at the time. And we all kind of were starting to play golf a little bit because I got the irons. And I was just like, hey, I have these clubs. Let's go to the golf course and play. And I have 5 golf courses around, my area a little bit that I can go play at. So I asked my friend and my brother, like, hey, let's go. I have this garage sale that I'm going to try to pick up some other clubs for myself so I can put together a full bag. And at this garage sale, I ended up getting um, a golf bag. I got a driver, a 3-wood, and a putter. So that day after we had just bought that stuff, I mean, these were cheap clubs. I mean, it was just the garage sale we went to was like a reseller basically. So he buys clubs from multiple different states and he sells them just out of his garage basically. And it's a huge golf sale that he does every year. So shout out to him, man. You funded you fully helped me develop my full bag, and I've only gone up from there. But anyways, I was able to, get all my clubs, get everything situated. Bought a couple boxes of balls from him because he had cheap ones. He had some buckets that he was selling too, so we bought those, and then we didn't really feel confident at the time to go play a full round of golf or even 9 holes. So what we did is we grabbed our clubs, threw them in my car, went to the closest driving range where we were, and got out. And I remember it was like, I didn't probably know how to warm up at the time, so I was just like throwing balls down and grabbing clubs and swinging away. And eventually I got to the point where I grabbed my driver, and I remember it was, it was a Ping. Oh, gosh, I can't even remember what it was. A Ping G2, and it had like the Karsten logo or whatever on it. It was old. I don't know what year that driver came out in, but it was old. Like at the point when I grabbed it, it was like 25 years old or 20 years old or something. So I remember I grabbed it, and then the first swing, legit first swing, I go back, I hit the ball, and next thing I know, I see a big black thing fly out in front of me. I look down at my driver shaft, and the head of the driver had completely broken off. First swing. And I was like, I was speechless. And I just remember there was probably like 10 other people at the range outside of, our group. And I just remember I looked over both ways and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing. So I ran out into the range, grabbed the head, and I was just like, I am not hitting again. And so we actually drove back to the same place where we got the original clubs, and I was like, hey, I need another driver because the one I just bought broke just barely, like at the range. And well, I didn't say that, but that was just like my thoughts. And I picked out another one. The first driver that I bought, mind you, was like $10, super old. So I really doubt that he knew it was going to do that. But either way, I just was down $10. So I grabbed another driver, and it was, I think it was like the same kind of driver. He had multiples of the same. So I think I just bought the same one, just in it. I mean, obviously different shaft, different whatever. And then I don't know how close this was. This was a long time ago. So I don't know how, in terms of timeline, this lined up. But then I just remember we went home, and then I was really excited to get going. So we went out another time, brought along another friend, and we actually went and played 9 holes of golf at this other golf course in a different town. And kind of the same thing. I got to the range, pulled out my driver at some point, couple shots in, bang, bang, bang. I think it was because I hit the ground a couple times and why this next event happened. But I swung back and then hit the ball, and then kind of the same thing happened. I see something fly off in front of me. I look down at my driver. Yet again, another broken driver. At this point, you would think, like, hey, maybe you should just give it up. Like, this is a sign from the universe to stop golfing because you are bad luck. And you're probably right. Like, I probably should have. But this game is so addicting. And there's so much to do in the game of golf. But yeah, at this point, like, I was so into golf that I was like, we're gonna put together an Instagram page. We're going to build this brand of ours. We suck at golf. Like, we're the PGA rejects, basically, is how we're gonna do it. And it was me, my friend, and then my brother. We were gonna do this together. And you probably could still find our Instagram page. I think it was like PGA_rooks or something like that. Like, we legit were like, we're the PGA rejects because we suck so bad. But it wasn't even because we were just like really terrible. It was because we had just started. So we were like, just was so bad, so down on ourselves because we were so bad already. And that's just the way it goes. So I don't know why we even named the page that, but we did. But yeah, that was the first time outside high school, that one experience I had, that we played a full 9-hole round of golf. And I just remember it was windy, it was cold, it was rainy, and I was wearing basketball shoes and jeans with a quarter zip like Sunday sweater and just a normal flat bill hat. I looked like nobody that belongs on a golf course. I looked like I just got out of a high school class, and this was in 2020. I graduated in 2018. So I was at least 2 years out of high school at this point, and I looked like I just came out of math class. So that was my first experience, my first couple experiences with playing golf at an actual course and the driving range. And so I think that's a bad omen for myself, because since then, driving ranges have not been my friend. I always hit the ball terrible at the driving range. So maybe I should stop going at this point, to the driving range, that is. But since that experience, I have continually, built my game. I've practiced quite a bit, a lot in my backyard because I can't go to the range every day. A lot of chipping, a lot of hitting iron shots. I try to stay away from driver and the woods because I absolutely suck at them, and I don't really have the area or the space to hit full shots and see how the ball's going. I've recorded myself. I've put together a social media platform for my golf specifically. I mean, I'm sporting it right now. So if you want to go subscribe to my YouTube channel, Slice Golf, and also follow my Instagram page, same thing, Slice Golf, I would really appreciate that. I will put those in the links below. But anyways, yeah, I am so in love with the game of golf because it just is different every single time. And I grew up, playing basketball, football, track. Like, those were my domains in school. But now that I really am out of that stage of life, golf has really stuck with me, and I appreciate it so much because it keeps me driving to do something better. And my wife has even said this. She's like, it's kind of fun for her internally because, like, growing up, like, I was decent at the sports that I played at. And she's like, it's fun to see you struggle with golf because you're so good at everything else. And for outsiders, that's probably like, well, this person that we know is very good at everything else they do, but golf is something that they struggle with. And that's everyone. Everyone goes through some sort of struggle with the game of golf. It is a hardcore, like, it'll push you to the bones of how difficult this sport, this game truly is. There are so many different aspects to the game of golf too that make it so much more difficult for you. And if you don't push past those thoughts and those feelings, like, you are going to struggle with this game forever. It's tough. It's a hard thing to push through. And I'm glad that my wife says that because it pushes me to practice more and more. It's not like me playing golf is benefiting us like as a family, but it's just one of my hobbies. And to have something that you want to push through to do better at is very exhilarating. It's very fun. So now to get out of, my personal experience, I'm gonna kind of talk about it a little bit more, but we're gonna get into the layout now of the episode. The first point I wanted to bring up was the mental side of the game. Like, everybody says these sports, basketball, football, whatever it is that you're doing, is 90% mental. I believe that. You have to have a good state of mind. You have to be confident. You have to have your thoughts about what's going on through each play. But golf, yes, there's a physical aspect to the game, But if you don't have the right thoughts, if you don't have the right idea of where to put the ball, how high do you want to hit the ball, how low do you want to hit the ball, should I put a little fade on the ball? Like, those are all things you have to think about every single time you approach and every time you hit the ball. And your body has to translate that when you swing. So if you're not having a very good mental side of the game, the physical part is going to absolutely fall apart. And I am a true example of that. My mental game with golf is very poor. I rely on my physical attributes and my physical ability more when I'm playing the game of golf, because like I don't know the physics behind golf. I don't know the science behind it. So that's why, Bryson DeChambeau is so highly talented at the game, because he thinks of things in a scientific way. Like, the fact that he centers up his ball, like I saw him do a demonstration of how he centers the ball, how he finds the true center point, or I don't remember exactly what the term is, but anyways, by him, putting it in the water and making it float. So he finds the point at which the ball is the least dense, or whatever it is. Like, that's the center point. The fact that he does that shows you how much effort he puts into his game. He's thinking about every aspect of this game to make himself better. And that's something that I don't have. I go out there, I grab my clubs, throw them in my pickup, head to the course, and then hit off the first tee. I don't put that much thought into it. I should. I'd become a lot less frustrated. But the mental side has to be intact. You have to have a good mental thought every time you play. And that's the part that people struggle with the most, is staying mentally stable and mentally clear to be able to execute how they should every single time they approach the ball. So going off of that, when something does go wrong, because it inevitably will every single round, something wrong is going to happen. It might just be one shot, but it's how do you come back from that? After that bad shot is what matters the most, because if you can't come back from it, you're going to then snowball effect into the next 3 to 5 shots that are bad in a row. And then you have to totally regroup. So it's hard to come back from hitting one bad shot and say, that was bad. Let's step up to the next shot and let's make this one great. It's hard to do that, because after you hit one thing wrong, you go up to the next ball and you say, please don't let this happen again. Please don't go right. Please don't go left. Please don't duff it. Please don't chunk it. That's a hard thing to get out of your mind. And even, I heard on the Good podcast, Minwoo Lee was talking about it, and he said, because he was asked the question, like, how do you make it so you don't think of those things? And he basically said, it's hard not to. Like, you almost have to, in order to counteract what your body's telling you to do. So, like, if you say, don't hit it right, your mind subconsciously is going to tell you, you mentioned the word right, so it's going to go right. So it's like even the professionals are having those thoughts and those ideas pop into their head every time they hit the ball. That doesn't make it wrong. You just have to learn how to deal with the fact that might happen. And as an amateur like myself, those thoughts happen every single time I approach the ball. Not, okay, if I hit the ball on this side of the green, it's going to roll out the ball below. Like, that stuff doesn't come into my mind. It is, I'm going to hit the ball and I'm going to hope it goes straight. I'm going to then get to my second shot and I'm going to hope I can hit it on the green. I'm going to get to the ball on the green. I'm going to hope that my putt goes the way that I think it is going to, because the green breaks this way. So there's so many different levels to, the mental side of things, because you have to know, like, there's a reason that PGA players are so talented, because they know how to, their course management is unbelievable. That doesn't come from your physical performance. That comes from your mental clarity. That comes from your thoughts and your outward seeking of these courses. If you know what the course is like, there's a better chance that you'll hit the ball where you want it to and where it belongs, in order for you to hit a better shot the next time. So the mental game, it has to be stable, because, like I said, if you keep thinking of the bad things, then it's going to be a snowball effect. You're going to do poorly. You're going to play bad. And golf does that a lot. It will kick you when you are down. And it will kick you until you give up. And you just can't. You have to keep pushing. In my notes right here, I wrote, it's difficult to not think that you suck. I think everyone, I could be wrong, everyone has gotten to the point where they think, I suck at this game, at this sport. I suck at golf. I'm sure there's people that have named their Instagram or their YouTube after that. I suck at golf. Whatever it may be. Like, because it makes you think that. You may not, but your bad shots are the things that stay in here, in your mind. They are the ones that you're brought back to every single time you hit the ball. And to get past that is an obstacle in itself. So it's hard to think that you don't suck, because sometimes you do. And it's hard to step onto that platform of, yep, I'm embracing this. I suck right now. I just got to turn it around somehow in the next couple shots. And hopefully you don't end the round with that thought in your mind, because that's when things really start to hurt you. And I kind of referenced this before, but there's just so many thoughts at once. When you step up to the ball, there's, all these different obstacles in front of you. Trees to the left, trees to the right. There's a little pond right there. I don't want to go into the rough deep of the green. I don't want to hit the back of the green because it's going to be a downhill putt from there on a steep slope. All those things you have to think about when you're choosing your club, when you're deciding how to hit the ball. I mean, I can't shape the ball at all. So I'm just kind of playing my swing, and my swing goes a little bit left to right. So I'm always just aiming for the left side of the green, because I know that the ball's going to work a little bit back to the right, regardless of the putt that it gives me at the end. If it's a downhill putt, heck, I don't even care. If I made the green in regulation, that's a win. That is a check off my list. But the professionals, they can't think like that. They have to think, I have to hit my driver 285 in order to give myself a perfect 5-iron or 6-iron or whatever it is into the green. Like, those are the things they have to think about. I get up to the ball on the tee and I say, I can't hit it right because I only have one ball left in my bag, and I can't go OB and lose it. So I'm aiming way, way left. I don't care if I get a double bogey on this hole. I cannot lose my ball. And I would love to know, let's say Scotty Scheffler. How many golf balls does Scotty Scheffler have in his bag at the Masters? Because bro is not losing a ball. He hits the ball very well. How many balls did Tiger Woods have in 2019 at the Masters? Did he play with the same ball every round? I don't know. I know if it were me and I was playing at the Masters, I'd have to bring 2 boxes because I'd lose a ball. I'd put 4 in the creek. I'd put 3 OB that I couldn't find. I'd lose balls left and right. Literally left and right. So to bring me back to my point, there's just so many things you have to think about on the tee box and every shot that lead to the next thing happening. If I hit my ball left, I have to deal with this bunker. If I hit my ball right, I have to deal with this tree. Even if I hit it straight, I have to be thinking about my next shot after that. How do I want to approach it onto the green? Right? Things like that. So the mental side of golf is not a child's game. Like, it is so much thought going into each shot, each time you hit the ball. And it is stressful. It takes a lot out of you every single round to have to think about all those things all the time. Even as amateurs, I'm making it seem like it's not a mental game at all for amateurs, but it is. Like, I'm still having a million thoughts run through my head every single time I approach the ball, because that's just how it goes. You have to have these thoughts. Otherwise, what do you, like, if you're just playing the game of golf for fun, that's fine. But, like, I want to get better. I want to be able to succeed. I want to make it to a bigger stage in life, being able to play this game. Am I expecting to get on the PGA Tour at some point? No, I don't want that. That's too much pressure. I want to be able to have fun, but I also want to be known, right? YouTube golf and golf in general in the vast or the broad view of things is so big now that there's so many people making it in life because they're able to play golf and make it entertaining. That's my goal. So up to this point, we've talked a lot about, the mental side of the game of golf. And obviously, like I was referencing before, other sports, people say it's 90% this, it's 90% mental. With golf, I would say it's 99.5% a mental game. But then you have to correlate that into, okay, how do you actually play? Which is where we're going next. Playing golf versus watching it on TV or watching it in person even, there's so much excitement behind the game of golf, and that's why so many people are starting to play now. And that's the thing that brings people back, is because even if you have a bad shot or three bad shots in a row, you're going to have one good shot that keeps you pushing to the next shot. And that's the excitement behind it. So playing it is the exciting part, because thinking about it and having those thoughts, that's not fun. You would like to step up to the ball and say, I know that I can do this. And then when you don't, like, that thought just like pisses you off. It pisses me off anyways. So you like the physical action of hitting that shot without expectation is the part that's so exciting, and that's the part that I love. And that's what I love watching too. Because like I watch Good, I watch Grant Horvat, like I watch those guys because they make golf seem so carefree. You can tell when they're having bad days or bad rounds, but then when they hit that one shot that's just, the cherry on top. That's what makes it so fun. That's what makes me excited to play golf. And I know, I'm going to shoot in the low 40s every time I go play 9. That's fine with me. Like, I'm okay with that, because I know there's going to be bad times, and I know that there's going to be at least one shot that I'm like, I'm going to be thinking about this when I leave this course today. And that's the part that brings me back every time. And that's what I'm saying. Like, YouTube is something that I'm trying to pursue a little bit on the golf side, because I know that people find it entertaining when you struggle, but people also find it very entertaining when you do well and when you're excited about it, because it's so relatable. You could be the worst player on the planet, but you could probably hit one very good shot in an 18-hole round. And that's the exciting part. And then as you begin to play more, you then begin to appreciate how good the pro players are. I mean, me myself, I watch, I probably watch 2 to 3 full PGA events every year. The Masters being one. I watched the Pebble Beach Pro-Am today, or the final round. I watched a little bit of the final round today, which is, we'll hit on that as well. Super exciting, actually, really, towards the end. And just their bad shots, like I am in disbelief the margin of error that they find bad compared to my margin of error. Like, their margin of error is, okay, if I miss the green and reg, like, their margin of error is better be like on the fringe or just off the green in the rough. My margin of error is, if I can be within 25 yards of the green, if I miss green and reg, I am very, very happy. These professionals are hitting the green in regulation. I don't know exact stats, but I would bet 80% of the time, maybe it's not that high, maybe it's way, way lower, but the best players in the world are hitting the green 80% of the time through 18 holes. Me, I'm hitting maybe 2 to 3 greens in regulation through 18 around. I mean, I don't know. What is that? That's 1 in 6. So it's like 18% or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, that's not even 18%, is it? 36, 70. It's about about 18%. Anyways, beside the point. Like their margin of error in terms of if they hit a green or not is much, much smaller than my margin of error if you compare the two. And it makes me appreciate it because, like, they're still professionals, still maybe only hitting 9 greens in reg versus 1 putting and 3 putting. Like, it happens all the time still. And that's where the human aspect of the game comes into, and that's what it makes me appreciate it. Because I could go out, never hit a green, but I can get up and down from every spot and still shoot a 39, or something relatively like that. These players are rarely shooting over 75. I mean, it happens, obviously, but every week they're going out there and shooting, 10 to 20 under every single event, as long as they're making cuts and all that stuff. I mean, outside of like the Masters where you might get somebody that shoots like 9 under and wins because the freaking Masters course, the Augusta National's tough as shiz. But it's like that's what makes the game of golf so relatable because professionals struggle too. Professionals struggle every single round. There's something that goes wrong every single round for them. And that's why watching it and playing is it like kind of coincides with each other because you can watch it and say, I made that same mistake yesterday. You can watch it and say, man, I've missed a 2-foot putt just like that guy. In the NBA versus the NFL versus golf, I can never say, oh yeah, I dunked over a dude once just like that. Oh yeah, I've thrown a 65-yard touchdown pass just like that. Like I can't say that, and I'm never going to be able to say that. But in golf, you're 210 out on a par 5. You hit it within 8 inches, make an eagle. I luckily enough have done that once. But that's the relatable part, and that's what makes golf so fun. Okay, I thought I'd bring up a good thing for my audience to comment down below in the comments. So, with my question here in about 5 seconds, comment down below your answer. I wanted to ask you, what is your ideal day of golf? Conditions, who you're with, what are you doing? Like, what makes it your ideal round, your ideal day of golf? For me, I have this idea of an ideal golf day. Number 1, I'm going to go with temperature. It's got to be somewhere between 65 to 75 degrees. Now, I'm more of a cooler weather person, I guess you could say, in terms of what I like to play golf in. But 65 to 75 degrees, that is perfection to me. I love a 65-degree day, being able to wear shorts early in the morning, take off your hoodie, 5 to 6 holes in when it feels nice. But also paired with that, it gets up into the 70s, slight breeze. That is perfection in my mind. That is perfect temperature for golf. Nice sunny day, but it's not too hot. Little breeze. Feels great outside. Also, next I'm going to move into who I'm with. Now, there's a couple different answers I'm expecting here. And I'm gonna kind of hit on both because I love being able to go out to the golf course, play 18 holes with my friends or my brother or whoever it is, even get paired up with a random third or whatever. I don't care. Like, just being able to go out and play golf with people, there's nothing like that in the world, in my opinion. Like, being able to go play golf with people and hang out and talk and discuss the game, discuss, the BS, at whatever it is you want to talk about. Like, that's what I like. And that's the fun part about golf too. Like, that's another aspect that a lot of sports don't have. They don't have like a conversational aspect to their game. You can't just have a conversation mid-basketball game. Well, I guess you could, but it wouldn't make any sense. So that's the best part, is you have time in between each shot to discuss things, to talk about things, to make jokes, laugh, whatever. So obviously being able to play golf with my friends and my brother is awesome. But another aspect that I think is starting to kind of make its way into the golf world a little bit more is bringing my wife along with me. And she may not play golf. She may play a couple holes, but it's just so nice to be able to get some time with her on the golf course, show her something that I truly enjoy, try to get her to experience that a little bit more with me, and just to be able to have that time with each other. Because I mean, you play 18 holes, even at a decent pace, you can get through 18 in 3 to 4 hours. Like, that's good pace, and there's really nothing like it. You can go on dates, do all this stuff, but being able to go outside, ride in a golf cart together, talk, just enjoy the day. Even if your wife is doing something else in the golf cart, it's just so nice to have somebody there with you. And that might not be something some of you enjoy, but for me, I like being able to do that. I like to have my wife with me at some points. I mean, there's some times that we can't do that. But when she does come and when she's able to come, it is really fun. And something that everybody probably should like is being able to go out to any course and play 18 holes without being rushed. That is the best feeling in the world. You can go leisurely. I mean, you can play as fast as you want. It's up to you. But it's just nice to be able to go out, especially if you're having a tough round, like just to say, I'm not being rushed. I'm having a hard time right now. Let's slow it down. Let's try to do better. I went out with my friend, that same friend, and my brother on my last birthday, and we went and played golf at one of the coolest courses around here. And it was so nice. We went early in the morning. I think we had like a 7:30 tee time, and there was nobody there. We had 18 holes to just play, have fun. Like, it was a great time. I had so much fun, and not that I don't have fun when there's people behind us, but it makes it so there's so much more pressure to play well, because you don't want to hold somebody up for longer than they need to be held up. I mean, I know that's probably not the right way to think about it, but you want to be courteous of other people on the course, and making people wait because I'm playing bad is one of my, it frustrates me so much. I hate that I make people do that sometimes because I'm not a great golfer. And when I'm holding people up on the course, it makes me like literally that. Like, that's how my brain feels. Sorry about the weird noises, but man, it's so irritating to me when I do that, and I can't stand it. So yeah, being able to play 18 holes with no rush is a phenomenal day of golf. And then I wrote down below that, like, 65 to 75 degrees is ideal. But really, playing golf in any conditions can be fun. I've played in rainstorms. I mean, I actually posted on my TikTok this last year, which you could follow. I'm not very active on TikTok anymore. I actually deleted it. But you can go watch outs on my TikTok, Slice Golf, as well. I played in Oklahoma with my brother-in-law, and we got caught in the middle of a huge, huge rainstorm. It was absolutely crazy, and nothing like I've ever experienced in my life. But we actually played through 2 holes with the rain, and it was such an unbelievable experience. I absolutely loved it, but it was crazy. We had to leave after the 3rd hole because it was just constant and consistent. It probably got like 4 inches of rain in less than 10 minutes. It was wild. And maybe I'll put that clip in here because I know I still have it. I'll put that clip in here right now. But yeah, playing in any conditions is always a fun time. Golf is so fun regardless if it's super hot, kind of chilly. Being able to play golf and get outside and go to any course is so fun. The game of golf is such a good experience, and it's for anybody. Anybody can play the game of golf. And it doesn't matter who you are. You can do it. You can rent a set of golf clubs. Go out and play. Go do you. Go play golf. So yeah, that is my ideal conditions, my ideal day of golf. Please comment down below, what is your ideal day of golf look like? All right, we're going to get into the Pebble Beach the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Like I said, I watched a little bit of it today. I kind of was tracking it through Thursday, and I just wanted to hit on a couple things. Akshay Bhatia, sorry. He was leading after 3 rounds, and not to say he had he struggled the final round, but I believe he shot even par. I think he went one over. I think he went one over the front 9, and then he shot 2 under. No, he shot 1 under. On the back 9, he had 1 bogey and then 2 birdies on the back 9. And he shot a 19 under, I believe. Yes, he shot 19 under. I'm pretty sure he made top 10 is what I heard. And the matchup that I was hoping was going to happen, that there was going to be a playoff, like I said, I just watched the Good podcast with Min-Woo Lee, so I was kind of rooting for him a little bit, and I think he was 2 back. I think he was 2 back on the 17th, made birdie on the last 2, and which got him to 21 under, and then Colin Morikawa also was at 21 under after 17. So I was hoping for a playoff hole after 18 at 21 under. But what really was crazy to me was watching it and seeing the final couple groups get through. So after Morikawa's tee shot on 18, it took 20 minutes from him to hit that tee shot, then to hit his second shot. Mostly because of the conditions, the wind, it was kind of screwing a couple of people up in front of them. But it was 20 minutes from hitting the tee shot to his second shot. And that brings me back to like the mental side of the game. If that was me, I would have been frustrated. I would have been anxious. I would have been nervous, which I'm sure he was too. But he's a professional, so he knew what to do. He knew what to think of. He even said, I paced back and forth from the ocean to my ball about 10 times, just trying to keep myself moving, trying to keep myself warm, trying not to think about it too much. And he hits his second shot, and the line that he took was crazy because if you know, at Pebble Beach, on the 18th hole, it cuts super deep into the ocean and back outwards towards the green. So there's like the cliff on the left side, and then it gets into, there's a wall, and that's where there's like 100 yards worth of sand. So he cuts like probably 25 yards over the ocean because the wind was absolutely insane. I think it was like 25 miles an hour. So he cuts into the ocean, and it comes over the top, hits the green on the front left, and then bounces over and back onto the end of the rough behind the green. Absolutely crazy shot. It was so cool to watch, but it was like, holy crap, that was the line he just took. Like, I would have lost my marbles. I thought he was going at OB based off of his line. But anyways, he gets up to his third shot, chips it, or no, he putts it. That's what I wanted to talk about. Was he putts it off of the rough onto the green, puts it to 2 feet, and at that point, like, Min-Woo Lee was like warming up, staying warm, because he was anticipating a playoff. And as soon as, Colin hit that shot, he puts his head cover on, puts his club back in the bag, and he's like, he just, he knows that's over at that point. So Colin Morikawa ends up winning the Pebble Beach Pro-Am, shooting 22 under, and he, let's see. So Colin missed the green on his second shot. He putts it to like 16 inches and then makes it to win with 22 under. I don't know his exact final round, but he did reference he shot a 62 in the third round to kind of get him into a position where he could move up to win. Good for him. It was awesome to watch. It was fun to see, and I always have kind of liked Akshay because he's a lefty. I'm left-handed naturally. I don't play golf left-handed, but I play right. But as a lefty, I was rooting for him because I think it's cool. But, yeah. Next week, the PGA Tour will be playing the Genesis Invitational, which is at the Riviera Golf Club, or the Riviera Golf Course, which I mean, I don't know all these courses exactly where they're at, but I was hearing that it's in Los Angeles. So I'm going to try to tune in next week to that, give you a little bit of update. And yeah, it was super fun to watch that today. Talking about golf, it's super fun. There may be some golf portions where I post, my rounds on this show, but I'm going to try to keep that more on my other channel. So Slice Golf, please go over there, subscribe. That would be fantastic. Also, hit that subscription button down below. Please comment down below what else you would like to see. Any suggestions, any comments, any questions. I want to put together a poll for you guys to ask me questions and answer them in a episode coming up. So if you please have any questions, comment down below. Hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much for tuning in. And just to kind of wrap up this episode, golf will humble you in the best ways possible. If you haven't played the game, go out and play. If you're thinking about it, go out and play. If you've played before but you've kind of given it up, go out and play. That's all I have for you today. Thank you. I appreciate you for watching. Until next time, peace.